Hi people, welcome to the last session on cash flow statement. As I say that sometimes it's good to save the best for the last. Perhaps that's what we have done. In this video, we're going to talk about the indirect method of the cash flow statement. And I'm hoping that you've already looked at the direct method in which it was very simply told and very clearly told that the direct method was absolutely a commonsensical way in which operating, investing, financing, all three kinds of cash flows could be made. And in the indirect method, it's only the operational cash flows that will be arrived at. Investing and financing remains under the direct method. So just to keep it simple, we are going to focus only on the operational cash flows, period. Okay. Now, let me first tell you as to why is it important to get an alternative to the direct method as far as the operational cash flows are concerned. If you get this, I'm sure you will be much well poised to understand what will follow. People, what generally happens is out of, let's say, 100 transactions that a business firm would do, about 95% of them are operational transactions. I'm talking about the cash flows. You can imagine how many times would you buy a machine? Would you, how many times would you take a loan or raise money and pay interest and all that stuff? Hardly any. But on the other hand, operational transaction is when you pay even 1 rupee for repair or buy tea bags for office or anything. Daily sales, daily purchase, anything on a daily basis is under operating. So 95 out of 100 cash transactions are operating. So that said, if I'm going to follow the direct method, I'm going to get to that right number of CFO. Absolutely, I have no problem in that. The problem, challenge, or I have become a little lazy, therefore I want to save my time. And whenever you want to take a shortcut, you want to bring in some efficiencies, you have to be a little more smart here. As they say that smart work can substitute hard work, direct method is hard work, whereas indirect method, more or less, to arrive at the same number is the smart work. So typically, as sometimes we feel that too many steps, too much complicated, forget about it. Let me go to the direct method. Well, try and not think that way. This is something that every company in the country called as India has to follow. So whenever you have to read a financial statement, income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow, every time you are going to face the indirect method, you better understand this well, Now, what happens in an indirect method? Why is it called indirect? And I hope I've told you many times that you're arriving at the same CFO. It's not a new number that you're going to get. If let's say CFO is X rupees, you're going to get to the same X rupees by the direct as well as by the indirect. Now, not very difficult, but let me try and simplify that. Imagine out of 100, students that you have to take a roll call, 95 need to be clubbed together and 5 need to be separated. Now, there is one way which says, let's start with roll number 1 till roll number 100, and I am going to pick up operating, investing, financing as and when each of them. That means 95 times I would have to pick up the operational cash flow and put it in a different room. And that's how a direct method cash flow statement is made. Rule number 1, CFO, go in that room number 1. Rule number 2, CFF, go in another room. Rule number 3, again CFO, go in the first room. Rule number 10, again CFO, go in the first room. You see, 95 out of 100 times I have to make people go in the first room. 95 out of 100 times. What can you think about a smarter way of doing that? Why not exclude the investing and financing cash flow that I don't want? Why not exclude the 5 transactions so that the remainder 95 students that I want to club together keep sitting in the same room? What I'm trying to get to is that I want to arrive at CFO not by selecting what I want, but by excluding what I don't want. That brings me absolute clarity in terms of I need to know what I want. I want operational transactions. I'm not going to pick those. I'm not going to do any adjustment to anything which is operational. And number 2, I need to know what is investing and financing. I have to exclude them. That means I need to know which are my operational transactions, which are my investing, and which are my financing transactions. That is understood well. But the catch here is, to be able to make those exclusions, you must have something already on the board. And that's something, the starting figure, the proxy figure, is your profit after tax. So here goes the story. Listen to me for next 2 minutes. A person with a lot of hard work was making CFO by the direct method, and he was approached, by another fellow, his friend. He says, "What are you doing?" "Well, I am making a cash flow from operations by the direct method." His friend said, "Why don't you pick up the PAT? That's a very close proxy of CFO." Our, the protagonist, the main character of the case says, "No, Mr. Friend, I don't think you've understood your income statement right. My PAT is actually accrual, whereas CFO is pure cash. So accrual versus cash is an issue. Second, my PAT is not EBIT, so to become only operating. My CFO is pure operating." So here is the culmination of the story, people. Is PAT equal to CFO? Absolutely no. There are two broad differences that PAT has with CFO, being accrual versus cash. But as a matter of fact, I want to save my time in making CFO, and I don't want to waste all that kind of an effort of going by the direct fashion. Is there some kind of an adjustment that I can bring into my figure of PAT to remove things that I don't want and to include things that are missing, so that just by playing that small delta adjustment game from a figure of PAT, I can arrive at CFO? That's broadly the process of indirect method, which means I assume for a second that my PAT is my CFO, and then make 4 small adjustments, delta adjustments of things that I don't want. And what is the reason? Because my proxy is an accrual figure. I need cash. I must remove all non-cash things. My proxy PAT is a operating, investing, financing, comprehensive figure. It's not EBIT, it's comprehensive. What I need is only operating. I must remove investing and financing things. Okay, so all that adjustment, there are largely 4 adjustments: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. This is a typical format that you see in the annual report. We are going to look at it together in the annual report. Forget about all of that. What they are doing is exactly can be bottled into 4 steps. Step number 1 and step number 4 put together is solving the problem of accrual versus cash. Step number 2 is solving the problem of removing the financing and investing items out of it. And step number 3 is a dedicated thing for tax in case tax is a problem. Okay. Now, this is the format that you have to really understand very well through a live example. I have a very different way of explaining to you the basic process of indirect method. What is the direction that you're going to take for each student who is sitting in the class? That's the case that we would be discussing. But people, don't forget the broad paradigm. There will be a figure of PAT that you have already calculated. Your friend said, "Why don't you take that as CFO?" You said, "No, PAT is not the CFO. It has 2 problems." Your friend said, "Let's solve those problems by making 4 steps." So ultimately, you and your friends are working together to be able to convert the figure of PAT, which you've already calculated, ready hand available, making 4 short adjustments and arriving at the same figure of CFO, rather than having you go through the detailed 95 students roll call attendance. It's much shorter, take it from me, much shorter, a little tricky that you have to understand. You have to be very clear about the accrual process. You have to be very clear about investing, operating, and financing. If these 2 are given, then I can guarantee you will be a rock star in this indirect method. Okay, people, the live class is going to have good amount of numericals. Please make sure that you've looked at this video in case not clear in the first go, but twice. Diluted EPS was one of the concepts that was a little tricky, and indirect method is the second concept that's going to be tricky. Little tricky, I understand. It's not something which is impossible, right? PAT plus 4 adjustments is equal to CFO. Why am I doing this? Am I taking a shortcut? Because I have become a lazy bum. And therefore, if I have to take shortcut, I need to be a little intelligent here. So the adjustments are a little intelligent way of getting to the same CFO, albeit a little short, with a shortcut. Okay, good people. I'm good to close this particular session. Pretty good, and shorter video. Super excited because indirect method, very few concepts as a faculty member. very few concepts are very gratifying to teach. Indirect method, for CFO is one of such methods that I absolutely love teaching. I am super excited to meet all of you in the live class with lots of examples that I have for you. Okay, see you very soon.